What did I say?
During the meanwhilest.
During the meanwhilest? No, I don't
No.
like that at all.
Well, hello. It's a very, very, very squeaky clean Dexter and me back on your screens and back indoors after our brief adventure into the great outdoors to film a new channel trailer and video intro sequence thingy. It was great fun, and I hope you enjoy the new footage that we shot. Before we get into today's video, just a couple of bits of housekeeping news. This video is going to be edited for the first time on Final Cut Pro. I've decided to download Apple's free 90-day trial. If it's really difficult or it doesn't sort of enhance or improve my video editing experience, then I shan't bother with the £400 or so investment. One investment I have made though is in Capture One Pro for Fuji. I've been using the Express or free version for a while now as a plug-in really with Lightroom to help get the best out of my Fuji X-Trans files. And I've decided after a while to get the full version for Fuji, so that I went ahead and bought that with one of Capture One's generous discounts. And last on the purchase list is rather boringly a new hard drive to store all my archived pictures and video stuff. Anyway, on to the subject of today's video, and it's this. It's my Fuji GF 23mm f4 lens for the GFX system. So a medium format lens then, if you like. I've had this now for 18 months and I've used it a lot during that time. In fact, going through some images for this video, I reckon that since I've had this, I've probably shot around about 75–80% of my total images with this lens. So it's virtually glued to the front of my GFX 50R, and for good reason. What I'll do is as I'm chatting about it, I'll snap up some images with dimensions, etc. on it for you to have a look at. The lens is a behemoth, though. It is a beast. It's heavy. It's reassuringly heavy, actually, because it costs, wait for it, I hope you're sitting down, £2,400, which is the most I've ever spent on a single lens, ever. And it's not perfect. It's nearly perfect, trust me, but it's not quite perfect. It's all metal construction, as you'd imagine. It's got a nice numbered aperture collar with 1/3 clicky stops from f4 right up to f32 in 1/3 stops, as I said. Then it's got an A setting if you're shooting in shutter priority or program mode, and a C setting for setting the aperture with one of the command dials on the camera. The focus ring is lovely and damped, but, and this is one of the negative points, it just rotates and rotates and rotates. There's no hard stop at infinity or at its closest focusing distance. And it doesn't focus that close, but that's not the point of this lens. Filter thread wise, it's got an 82mm front filter, so a little bit bigger than normal. But one thing to be aware of, and one thing that caught me out when I first bought this lens, is that you can't use a normal Lee filter adapter ring. You have to buy one specially made for this lens. And because I use a Lee adapter ring with it, I can't use the hood that came with the lens. And it's quite a good hood for Fuji, actually. You know, it's still the flimsy, cheap plastic. It's a bayonet fitting hood, and it's got like a clutch or a switch, if you like, to help lock the hood in place. But I've never ever used it. In use then, the lens is phenomenal. I'm not a pixel peeper. I don't look at things like micro contrast and sharpness, etc., etc. But the images that this lens renders on the Fuji GF X50 are just, they're out of this world. I'll put some up now, but as usual, I'll put a longer look at the images up at the end of the video, along with some music for you to have a look at. And really, I think the images speak for themselves. I like to print my work usually on my Canon printer at 19 by 13 inches, which is reasonably big, but I have had some much bigger images made with this lens and camera printed, and they look jaw-droppingly good. They really, really do. And that's all really I can say about it. Autofocus wise, I don't use it in autofocus mode. I only use it in manual focus, so I couldn't tell you how quick the autofocus is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have optical image stabilization. It's a wide angle lens. You're going to be using it on a tripod 99% of the time. It doesn't need OIS. It has got weather sealing though, which for a landscape lens is very, very useful. And besides that small little niggle with the focus ring, I think this is pretty well perfect. I do wish Fuji made something perhaps a little bit wider. Sometimes I find myself wanting more, it's not reach is a long word. I want more range, if you like, then in my image. This doesn't really go wide enough sometimes, and I find myself shooting images then with my X-T3 and the 10 to 24 at 10 millimeters. So if Fuji were to make, say, a 16 to 35 or a 15 to 30 equivalent lens for the GFX system, I probably would sell this and jump into that. But unless and until that happens, I'm holding on to this. It's I'm going to say it, it's probably the best lens I've ever used. And you could say for £2,500 that it should be the best lens I've ever used. But no, trust me, it is. Anyway, that's it from Dexter and me for this week. We leave you now, as I promised, with a range of images shot with this lens. And as usual, thanks very much for watching. I hope you found this review useful. If you have got the GFX 50 camera, perhaps you've got the 32 to 64, get this. It really is. It's worth every penny of your investment. And with that, Dexter and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.
If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do is to save every day till eternity passes away, just to spend them with you. If I could make days last forever, if words could make wishes come true, I'd save every day like a treasure, and then again I would spend them with you. But there never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them.